What is up, guys? It's Mitchell or Deity, and I just slept like 12 hours. I'm working on the second episode of the guide. It took me forever to get that first one out. The second one, I'm partially done. It's going to be covering Wyvern. For those of you guys that are new to the game or coming back, I'm going to help you get through the Wyvern challenges and get your Wyvern team set up. So that video will be up later tonight. But I want to cover this video because this is being asked a ton. Again, I'm trying to cover any of the questions that you guys are consistently asking, and that way you have some information out. These are rushed videos, but it's better to get the information out sooner to answer as many questions as I can versus getting asked the same question and answering it individually one by one for each person that asks. So this is going to be about summoning. Should you summon right now? What Moonlight Summon character is basically what we're going to be going into, the Mystic banner of the game. So I'm going to talk about the way the summoning works. Covenant banners are banners that rotate usually every 2 weeks, and they're used for Covenant summons, okay? With these Covenant summons, it takes 605 bookmarks for a pity. I do not suggest summoning on a banner unless you have 200 or 605 bookmarks, or you have enough Skystones plus bookmarks to guarantee that character. You never want to half summon on a character, not get them, get nothing for it, because the pity resets. Okay, this pity system is nice because you can guaranteed get whatever character it is you're going for, but if you don't have enough, you should not summon. That's where a lot of people quit the game, is they'll half summon on a banner, do 60 summons, not get it, get mad, and then go to the next. If you have to skip a character, they are all coming back in terms of these Covenant summons, and you can get them randomly from anything else. Guard Captain Crow, he seems decent, but I'm not to a point where I'm telling everyone to pull him yet. I do want to test him on my main account before I give any advice, and that's going to take me a little bit. So do your own research in terms of Guard Captain Crow. If you should summon on him, definitely don't summon on Vildred. Otherwise, I highly suggest just saving. Okay, Guard Captain Crow will be on regular. You can get him from random summons at any point throughout the rest of the year. He's not a limited character. Limited characters are characters that come to the game and they do not have a rerun for a year after the release. So they are usually the top tier, better characters, and that's how Epic 7 makes some money. They release these characters, they create FOMO or like you to make people summon on it, and then if you did miss them, they're going to sell it to you in packs. So like there's a character named Afternoon Soak Flange. She's dominating the game and has been for a very long time, since her release basically, and they're selling her for, I think it's $100 pack either now or in a week or so. That pack will be coming, but they did it last year with a character called Laya. Laya was a super good limited character, but you always want to save bookmarks so that you have the ability to summon on those super good characters. Okay, now everyone's going to play the game different. If you're a casual player and don't really care, you're not getting balls deep into the game, you just want a game to have fun and just relax and just do whatever. Okay, I completely get that. I'm becoming more and more of a casual gamer as time goes on because life's hitting. I mean, as you get older, you don't have as much time. I completely get that. If that's the case, just summon on the characters you like. Again, I would suggest 605 bookmarks and make sure you get the character. But otherwise, play the game how you want. Don't listen. Content creators don't need to dictate everything you do on your account, how you decide how you're going to play. This is supposed to be a fun experience. Video games are for fun. It's not, we're not entering a super competition against each other. Some people are, but it's a very small majority, and I think that part gets overlooked by a lot of content creators. So if you want to summon, just go ahead and summon. If there's a character you like, have some fun. Get the characters you like, find out they're bad. It is what it is. It's a learning experience. Now, that is Covenant summons and a little bit into limited. Now, we do have collabs occasionally. Those are like an extreme limited, and collabs haven't been coming back. So at the beginning of Epic 7, we'd get collabs and we'd have a rerun, so we never really worried about missing the characters. But if we ever do have a collab, that's when you have to panic and make sure you have the bookmarks. So if you can get into a habit of only summoning on limited and collab characters and maybe the occasional whatever characters on banner, you're going to be in a good spot. Now, as a new player, you get a ton of bookmarks. You're able to pity numerous characters for free at the start of the game. So if you're skipping Guard Captain Crow, or if you decide to summon on him, you get him early, you're in a fantastic spot going forward. Okay, there's not going to be a Covenant banner you're going to bother summoning on. Now, never rip your Covenant summons unless they're free. This is for whales, essentially. If you are like super in-game, I rip them sometimes, but otherwise, I would never summon on this unless your daily free summon or the free summons it gives you. Yes, you can get Moonlight 5 characters from this, but this is usually when you're quitting Epic 7, you go and slam all your Skystones and bookmarks into Covenant summon, and then you close and delete the game forever. That is the general quitting of Epic 7. So Covenant banner is, it's for like whales. If you want to drop $2,000 and just do a bunch of summons, it's not very many summons, honestly, but you could maybe get some characters out of it, but I don't suggest it to anybody. Now, the main thing we're going to cover today, though, is going to be the special Mystic banner. So with the special Mystic banner, way Mystic summons work, this is where you get these super strong ML5 characters in the game. Once per year, we have this banner that will allow you to pick whichever ML5 you want that isn't one of the newest like 3 to 4 characters. So this is all the Moonlight characters in the game minus the last 3 to 4 that have come out. In terms of the pity of this, it takes 200. That is 700 USD if you were to buy it full, like just buy enough summons to get it. They are very expensive. Now you do get mystic summons just from doing guild wars and progressing. You do not need to spend money in this game. You won't be able to get every character, but in the long run you will end up getting almost every character playing for a couple of years. Very free to play friendly as long as you keep up with the game. If you're constantly taking breaks, it's going to feel like it's a pay to win game, but if you play every day, do what the game has to offer, you are going to have a very easy experience in the long run, having a crazy good account without spending a penny. So with this though, with the 200 pity, the way that Mystic Banners work is every week there's a new rotation for 5-stars and 4-star characters. And then here you are going to see it switches every additional week. Every 3 weeks though, a new character is going to come onto the banner or a rerun. So in the next 2 weeks, we're getting a character called Boss Arunka. We're going to go look at her kit and talk about her for a second. But before we do that, I'm going to go over a couple of characters I would suggest if you want to summon. Now, again, this is going to come down to what kind of player do you want to be? Are you going to super sweat this game? Do you care about being top 50 PvP? Any of that kind of thing? What's your overall goal? If you're just playing the game to have fun, who cares if you rip some summons and get a character that you think is cool? So if you're going through this and you find someone who's cool and you don't care about being super meta, just summon on them. Who cares? I'm trying to take a very casual approach this time around with the update and everything versus trying to get everyone to be super sweats, because most people are casual, okay? Not that many people have the 7 hours a day that other people dedicate to this game. And hopefully this will help you guys enjoy the game more. So in terms of the characters in here, if you preferably you'll summon for one of them that is like high rated or highly suggested by multiple content creators. Do your research, go around, look at other videos. But for me, if you're a brand new player getting into the game, Harsetti would be my #1 pick for everyone to get. She makes everyone the same speed. She has an absolutely insane passive, and I think you'll get the most usability out of her. These are PvP focused characters. Almost all of them are, that's what they're designed for, is for PvP. Okay, Moonlight characters, light and dark, they're element neutral. You aren't going to have any kind of elemental advantage against any character, which means, and they say in the game, they are designed for PvP. Some can be used for PvE, okay? Harsetti would be a PvP focused dominant character. She's going to help you in arena, she's going to help you in guild wars, and she gets banned in RTA in almost every match, but if you do play RTA and get her, she's very good there. Now, going down the next character, I would suggest, there are some other strong ones. A lot of people love Strays. I don't suggest him to anybody in 2025. He is not the character he used to be. For PvE, it is not worth making one-shot teams, in my opinion. For the average player, there's only so many resources the game gives you. The only reason to maybe go into Strays and try to make those one-shot teams you see on YouTube and hear people talk about is if you're spending money. Otherwise, if you're one-shotting your stages, you're just going to be off the game faster, and it's like a luxury thing. You do not need it. It's not going to actually help you whatsoever, and that is my opinion on Strays. A lot of people always talk about him. Briarwitch Assyria is pretty nice. She stops reviving, but I wouldn't say to pick her over the next character. So one of the things I haven't finished is Boss Arunka is coming in 2 weeks, so she seems really strong. So if you want to save all your summons and go all in on her, you can, but the thing is, you probably won't have enough for pity anyway, and with pity carrying over, you could summon on this banner, see if you get lucky. Maybe you get one of these characters you really like in 10 pulls. You never know. But even if you don't get the character, that means you're just going to be closer to Boss Arunka when she comes out, or whichever ML5 you decide you want to pick that is really strong. So the next characters I would say that would be pretty good. You're probably going to be starting with Spectre Cerebral, or you have the pack you could buy for $30. If you're a spender, you're definitely doing that. That is an insane value in the game. Last Rider Crow is a pretty solid character. If you're wanting PvE, I would say Lone Crescent Bologna would be the queen of PvE. You take Lone Crescent Bologna, and from your selector, you can take Sigurd's Scythe, its best in slot artifact. She is going to dominate a lot of the floors of Abyss that people have troubles with. So this is a very, very good character for new players trying to get your PvE established. Plus, she's really cool looking, so I don't think you'll be sad you get her. In PvP, she has fallen off a bit, but she'd probably still be usable, especially in lower ranking of RTA. Now, the next characters that are good, Sylvan Sage Vivian just got a buff, but you do have the option to get her or Death Dealer Ray for free, I believe still. I'm not to that point of the guide or playing a new account yet, but I'm 99% sure there's still the option of getting one of these two. It would be Death Dealer Ray would be the pick. This character is insane, but Sylvan, if you want to go that route, you can. I'm going to suggest both of them. You can take whichever one you want once we get to that point of the guide. Designer Lilibet is pretty good. She cleanses and deals a ton of damage. ML Landy has fallen off a lot, but she is pretty fun to use in PvE and just fun to use in general. You can use her in Arena, Guild War. I do like her as a character. Spirit Eye Sling just got a buff. She seems okay. Bellion is a really good character. She prevents your opponent from getting souls, but all of these I'm mentioning besides Lone Crest and Bologna are primarily PvP characters. And then the next two characters are going to be Sea Phantom Politis, absolutely insane. New Moon Luna, absolutely insane. And then I would say Imperial Illinaf. So if I had to take 4 characters that I would pick that I think would be the most beneficial to someone getting into the game right now, number 1 for me would be Harsetti. I think you are going to be super happy you have her, and she's amazing. Okay, plus you can get free imprints through gold transmit stones eventually to min-max her versus trying to summon characters. You'll learn about that if you decide to go that route. I'll talk about it again in the future. But Sea Phantom Politis is my number 2. She shuts down like almost everything. So any character that has a resource, it halves the amount of resource gain they get. So there's fighting spirit and focus. That is so oppressive in the game. It's unbelievable. Sea Phantom Politis, definite number 2. New Moon Luna is tied with Politis just about. I'd slightly put Politis up a little bit more. New Moon Luna puts AoE seal on the opponent. She has a soul burn to where you can ignore effect resist, so it guaranteed lands these debuffs. But New Moon Luna is banned a lot. Okay, Sea Phantom's banned quite a bit. Harsetti and New Moon Luna, I believe, are still the 2 most banned characters if you want to get into live arena. But these 2 are going, all of these characters are going to be absolutely amazing for arena and Guild War. So next up, we're going to have Imperial Illinaf. She just allows you to not have to deal with defense penetration, and it makes it to where all your other characters, just a super good support tank. So she's going to keep your team alive. She's very good against a lot of the meta. And with the new character coming, having her is important because if your opponent takes the new character Boss Arunca, which we're going to watch a video here in a second, you're going to hope you have her, I think, because you don't want them to get both of them. Okay, so that is my opinion. Again, Harsetti is what I'm going to be summoning on my new accounts, and if I don't get her, I'm just closer to Pity once Boss Arunca comes, and I'll try to finish up the Pity and get her. So again, the Pity does carry over, so this 181 summons, once the next banner starts, I'll still be 181 from Pity. Okay, so now that that is done, let's go ahead and check out Boss Arunca. So I actually have been saving this. I know a little bit of her kit, but not the full kit design, so let's go ahead and watch and see how crazy she actually is. So I don't know why I have the G-Force thing going on up there. I didn't even open anything. Very weird. All right, she looks sick. She's super cool, and she is going to be a light knight, which everything seems like it's a knight in Epic 7. There's been so many years. It's either knight or warrior. It feels like there's the only 2 classes in Epic 7 that make any kind of big impact in the game. And then now we're going to go forward to this. So her base speed is super slow. She has insane defense and decent HP. And then going up, that's her stats again. Her imprint is defense percent. So her skill 2 is the passive at the start of battle and at the end of turn when the enemy is in the front row, grants ferocious stand for 1 turn. After being attacked, increases combat readiness by 20%. So ferocious stand, allies except for the bear cannot be selected as targets for attack. That's absolutely insane. So this makes it to where your team is basically in stealth. They don't get the damage mitigation of stealth, it seems, but they can't be targeted, which basically makes them like Spectre Tenebria. That's very, very cool. And every time she's attacked, increase their combat readiness, which is crazy. So you always put her in the front. I think that's absolutely wild. So we can watch it go into effect. So as you see, they can't target with any of their attacks anyone else on the board. That's pretty cool. But you see the opponent, there's the Imperial Illinaf on the opponent's team, not on that team. So Imperial Illinaf just keeps your team alive. So that's the best way to put it. And she does pretty good damage too. If you decide to put her in that damage role, she cleanses, debuffs, and applies injuries. She does everything. So now attacks the enemy at an incredible velocity, dispelling all buffs before inflicting decreased defense for 2 turns. Grants increased defense and a barrier to caster for 2 turns. Damage dealt and barriers should increase proportional to caster defense. So a barrier scaling off defense, I think that's kind of rare. I don't know what all other characters have that, but that's really nice. So the dispel debuffs, decrease defense, and the buffs that she gives herself. So is a little bit of a greedy unit, it looks like, but not at the same time because her passive keeps your team from being attacked. That's pretty cool. So she can be used in probably either playstyle, whether you're trying to go really fast or really slow. I think you're good to do whichever style. You can put her in anything. So if you're a cleave player, someone who plays and tries to beat the opponent before they take their first turn, you can just first pick her to prevent your opponent from getting her, and then pick all cleave units to do as much damage as possible. So this is what her skill 3 looks like. I just did a sponsor for Girls Frontline, and there's Klukai in that in that sponsor. She's like exactly Klukai, got the motorcycle and everything. It's funny. Any of you Girl Frontline players, you know. Okay, so next up we have the Road Sign Smash. The skill 1 attacks the enemy with a Road Sign, has a 6% chance to increase or to inflict decreased defense for 1 turn. So she has a decreased defense on both skills, and she can trigger a dual attack on a soul burn with the ally with the highest attack for 10 souls. That's super good too. So overall, she's just a very good support style character, gonna help keep your team alive, and that's actually wild. She seems very, very strong. The thing with her versus the characters on banner now, I don't think you're going to be sad whether you get her or one of the other characters. Especially if you're a new player, you got to build your account anyway. If you want to save your summons to get her, she definitely seems good, but she's not tested yet. We haven't got to see how strong she is, what her weaknesses are. We have a decent idea. We've been playing the game for a long time. Any older player that's going to be covering her. But getting a character that's proven and tested and we already know is good is never a bad thing either. So whichever route you decide, if you want to summon, if you don't want to summon, just play the game how you want, enjoy it, and try to get the characters that are going to make you like playing Epic 7 more. Okay, so that's all I have. If you have any questions for me, comment them down below. I'm trying to answer as many as I can. As I'm making the videos, I have YouTube open. I'm watching the comments as they come in to the best of my ability. And we have the Discord server. The link's down below. Join the Discord. You can ask questions in there. That way you get a faster response than waiting for me. So thank you all for watching. Make the decisions on your summons however you want to. You don't have to listen to every creator as to save your summons. Do not summon on this. Do what you want. Have fun with the game. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.